Their base price for a grand player was about $1,000. Mr. Wrigley had a special request. Since he was having this entire mansion built as a gift for Ada, he wanted to give her a very unique piano as well. Mr. Wrigley asked Steinway if they could make a player piano that could play up to 10 parchment scrolls without having to be manually interchanged. Now, Steinway had never made a piano to play up to 2 scrolls, let alone 10, but they accepted this special order. However, they turned around and attempted to cancel it just 2 months later. They sent Mr. Wrigley a letter telling him they could not accomplish the 10-scroll task, it could just not be done. Mr. Wrigley would not accept no as an answer, so he sent a letter back to them insisting that he would indeed like a 10-scroll player, and he enclosed a blank check to confirm his purchase order. 6 months later, and $10,000 later, he had his piano here in his home. So quite a price he paid compared to a $1,000 base price, but Steinway was able to accomplish the 10-scroll task, and they even sent out a team from New York to do the final stages of assembly right here in this room, since the piano won't easily fit through any of these double doors. So this box right behind the piano houses a spinola that houses 9 additional scrolls, and the family could play from that box in the back or the scroll in front. Thanks to the remote control here, not a standard Steinway item at the time, but made specially as a gift for the Wrigleys. The cord could stretch all the way out to the fireplace or to the south deck, and they could program to repeat or shuffle, we could say, their 10 songs here. Kind of like the birth of the iPod, I like to think of. This piano is labeled as a Duo Art player in the corner. That Duo Art meant it had the capability to play from the player and as a regular piano and at the very same time. So there are a total of 3 volume switches on the side, one for the overall volume, and then one for just the accompaniment, and one for the theme. You can adjust those volumes independently and then play your own accompaniment or theme right on top of a popular song. So very entertaining during the late 1920s. There's also a tempo switch here. We can adjust that quite a bit even as the music plays. A re-roll switch that allows us to rewind our parchment at any time. So even though our scrolls are about 85 years old, they're still in fairly good-looking condition today thanks to that rewind capability. There's a repeat switch on the top, so you can turn that to on or off, and it will automatically rewind the scroll and begin playing again when the song is completed. It does still work. We'll play it for you in just a moment here. All 10 of the songs we have here were composed and recorded by Mr. George Gershwin himself. He and Mr. Wrigley were personal friends at the time period. Mr. Gershwin is able to use a state-of-the-art technology for the time that we refer to as a dual-layered recording. Pretty standard in our digital age today to record a second version of a song right over a first version, but brand new during the time period. So at several points in the music, it looks like there are 3 or 4 hands playing all at once. And it's a little bit more of a complex and fuller version. The song we have up front is Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. Our version is an entire 4 minutes longer thanks to that dual-layered recording. So feel free to take any photo or video if you would like to. We'll play just the second half of the song for you since it is a bit of a longer song. Enjoy. parchment. When Steinway made this piano, they made a copy of it. However, the copy piano wasn't quite completed. It's missing a few pieces, so it didn't actually play music. That copy piano is now owned by the Smithsonian Museum, but kept in storage, not even on display. So truly one-of-a-kind piano here, and I'm quite excited to be able to see it play here. So Jordy Hormel came looking for this piano due to that rarity. More than just an heir to the Hormel Meat Company, Jordy was a passionate jazz musician. Jordy Hormel taught himself how to play the piano at the age of just 5 years old by listening to old records. As an adult, he composed most of the theme music for the television shows throughout the 50s and 60s, including Lassie, Ozzie and Harriet, Gunsmoke, The Fugitive, and The Untouchables, and most of the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons like Tom and Jerry and the Flintstones. The drum roll beats in the background are all Jordy Hormel playing the drums. In 1968, he founded and operated the recording studio in Los Angeles called the Village Recorder, where just about everybody that has been anybody since the 70s, even through today, have been there to record their music. If you think of a famous album from the 70s decade, it was probably recorded by Jordy himself. So very much a behind-the-scenes man, never really attempting to become famous himself. He retired in the early 90s and moved here to Paradise Valley. His studio is still operating today, though, called just The Village, but one of the most in-demand studios today in LA. He discovered the mansion happened to be up for sale at the time. He knew about this piano sitting inside of the property, and he also knew a bit of a secret that Mr. Wrigley had written it into his will that the piano could never be removed from the home regardless of ownership. So being such a passionate musician, Mr. Hormel had done his research. He approached the financial institutions that owned the property at that time, handling the bankruptcy of Western Savings. No one mentioned this piano to him, its value, or even its existence, so he stayed quiet about it himself. He was able to purchase the entire property just to get his hands on this piano. He bought it for the amount of back taxes due by Western Savings, which were about $2.6 million in 1992. If the piano were able to go to auction today, it could catch by itself anywhere between $18 to $24 million. The rest of the mansion with all the furnishings inside has been valued at about $15 million, so technically worth more than the house and everything inside of it. So really thanks to Mr. Hormel's knowledge and staying quiet, he was able to get away with quite a steal. Now, he never wished to live here. He simply wanted to play this piano and let people enjoy the music. So he started a bar on the outside patio in order to preserve the interior of the mansion. That eventually grew until he decided to enclose the entire west patio and the 6-car garage in 2003 to offer full dining and event service. And then he began our Sunday brunch tradition. We fill this room with a brunch buffet, and everyone dines here with the large picture windows. And Jordy played this piano every single Sunday himself, always meeting and greeting everyone personally, getting to know all the folks dining here. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us today. Jordy passed away in 2006 at age 77, but his wife and daughter still own the property today and probably always will. It's just a sentimental home for them now. We still uphold that Sunday tradition and have someone playing this piano each week during brunch. So always a fun time hearing the music around the mansion. It's kind of our fun feature here. And really, thanks to the Hormel family, we can operate in our interesting way that we do. We'll continue on throughout the rest of the house. We'll make our way through the large hallway into the rotunda. At the end of the hallway with all of the photographs, there is an aerial photo